launched, and because it's been just me tapping away with some support from my fabulous web maintenance guy and other people that I have found outsourced who are providing services, I am finally there, but it has been longer a journey than I have anticipated. And I'm really pleased and thankful for all of the input from all of these different people who have been helping with the past year of testing and trials and letting me know what needs to change, what could improve, what would make it more digestible. So, if you haven't seen me before, my name is Raven, and I am the founder of Money Mind, an online financial literacy course or website service provider that is about feeling more empowered with our day to day money. So it's not advice, it's just opinions. And really, it's about letting people know, hey, your money is your stuff and your personal preference. And it's very much like your home. Your money and your home are pretty similar in that they will be however you want them to be, right? Most of us, our houses are a reflection of what we spend our money on, what things we like, what things we use the most of. And our money will kind of reflect that as well. So it's interesting because a lot of us think that money is like this really, really separate thing that is kind of big and scary and intimidating. And I realized that on my journey, feeling that way about money, it didn't have to be that way. I was just really confused about all the information out there with no way to gain a perspective on what was important, what I needed to know, what was like completely irrelevant, what was too complicated, and where I stood in all of this. It was like going firsthand, right, to a decorating conference before you moved into your house. It's not the best idea because you'll have like 5 million ideas of how you could decorate your house. Whereas what you really need to do is just get into your house, then see what you need, and then make choices about what you like. It's the same with money. We're using money every day, but we can often feel a bit complicated by all the choices out there. So maybe it is good for us to just look back at the basics, say, okay, what do I need in my money life? And then what do I like? And this can be really relevant in terms of how we save and what we invest in. And Money Mind is about helping us find our own style, find our own way, and make our own choices about these areas. Because really, saving and investing are kind of like the two money areas, right? There's not much more we do with money other than spend it. And I'm pretty sure everyone's like fine with spending money, right? It's not a problem, not a problem. I can do that just fine. I've got like sneakers behind me that I'm like, I love my sneakers. I'm like, I did not need to spend that much money on sneakers, but I love them. And so that was a selective spending choice that I decided upon because it makes me happy. It's one of the things that we cover in the Money Mind course about how to spend on stuff that we want or like without feeling bad about it, knowing that there are other areas that we don't like as much, that we are saving money or not spending money. We're not necessarily saving it. Sorry, I say that, but it's not really a saving that we're doing because we're not actively saving. We're just not spending or wasting money in that area. So it's an example that we all hear, going like without coffee for, I don't know, like people are like, oh, you can save money by having no coffee in your life. Look, if you like coffee, enjoy your coffee, man. Like just enjoy your life. Let me live. But if you don't like coffee, like I don't really care about coffee. I don't really like coffee. And I definitely don't need coffee. Like I didn't drink coffee today and I generally don't drink coffee. And like I am super hyper generally, but I'm also an introvert. So I just kind of am able to like make my own energy like magic. I'm like Harry Potter with like my own energy. I don't need coffee, right? So, or maybe more like Dumbledore, because Harry Potter still has to learn stuff. I'm like I'm like out of school already. I know how to use the wand and make my own energy. But the point is that I'm trying to make all of us are able to make our own choices with money and make our own decisions based on what we like and feel safe about. So our money mind is what this whole project, social enterprise, is inspired by. It's how we think about money and how we feel about money. And so, what I will be broadcasting about on all my social medias, across platforms, multimedia platforms in future, is about how we feel about money in our life and how we can change our thinking about money so that we feel how we want. Because a lot of us just feel stuff about money, but we're not doing it intentionally. It's a result of thoughts that we have that kind of come out of nowhere, right? We develop our money mindsets from the ages of 3 to 7. Wait, numbers. I have dyscalculia, right? So I'm also like really bad at stuff like numbers and counting and remembering stuff, which is why also this course was designed, because if I have dyscalculia and I can get my head around improving my life in money stuff, anybody can. I got dyscalculia, man. Like I can't count. I can't do my times tables, but I can still manage my money life really well and very happily. And that is so different from where I started, which was just not happy and not thriving and really stressed and really confused and really overwhelmed. And it just wasn't nice. It wasn't nice. It wasn't pleasant. And you don't have to feel that way about money, because I created this plan that anyone can use as a template, free or by buying our paid courses. It's really, really simple. There's 5 parts, and it's just the pillars of financial stability. The 5 parts are really money mindsets, savings, investing. Wait, sorry. I need to practice this. Money mindsets, savings, budgeting, investing, wills, and legacy. Once again, without the mess up, money mindsets, savings, budgeting, investing, wills, and legacy. So if you are in your money life and you're like, oh, I don't know where I'm at right now, but I still feel a bit stressed, just step back, take a look at these 5 areas. And it's yes or no. You can just go ahead and yes or no answer these questions. Money mindsets. Are your money mindsets helpful, supportive, and serving you? When you think about money with your money mindsets, does money feel good or does money feel bad? It's that simple. Does money feel good or bad to you? That is the money mindset thing. And in our money mindsets pillar, we go into how to unravel that and why and all this different stuff. It's 1 hour and you can buy it now on our website, moneymind.global. But you can also try the free samplers just to see if you like it, if you need it, if it's even relevant for you. So you can also find the free samplers at moneymind.global. So yes or no, do your money mindsets feel good or bad to you? Is that something you need to clean up? Number 2, savings. Actually, savings. Is your savings on track? Do you have a savings plan? Do you know why you need to save? Do you know about depreciation? Do you know why it's important and how much you're saving and have a regular savings plan in place? Yes or no? Really simple, right? So yes or no. And if no, then what do you want to do about it? Anything? Nothing? It's up to you. But at least you know. At least then you're like, oh, okay, I definitely don't have any of that in place. But I totally could in like 2 minutes by just sorting out some stuff, like some certain steps, like choosing a saving amount, seeing how much like I want to save as a percentage, like 5%, 10%, like $100. Like what is it that I could save? How could I create a plan monthly? Like you can think about this stuff in under half an hour, you could have a whole savings plan created. In 2 minutes, you can have a pretty solid one. So it's really just yes or no. You happy with your savings life? You happy with your savings plans right now? Yes or no? Then we have budgeting. Do you know where your money is going? It's one of those things. A lot of people are like, I don't want to do budgeting. I want to spend my money. I don't want to feel restricted. But there is a budget called a zero budget. And you could totally just use that, where you put your money into necessities and then savings and spend the rest. That's a budget. But it would still be a yes. Do I know where my money is going? Yes, I do. I know that this much is going to necessities. I know that this much is going to my savings. The rest I don't need to know where it's gone because I have saved and I have paid my necessities. So I'm sorted. I got a budget. But a lot of people just avoid budgeting completely. And as a result, if you don't know where your money is going, it's going somewhere else, my friend. It is not staying with you. It does not want to be with you. It is like a cat that is like, you do not feed me. Why am I with you? Why are we friends? We are not friends anymore. And then it will leave your life forever. And maybe other money will come in and it will be like, no, you are terrible at looking after me. I'm leaving. If you don't look after money with budgeting or tracking it somehow, it will leave. For sure, it will leave. And it will leave even if you are a compulsive saver and you just stash it in your savings account sitting in the bank. It will leave from real depreciation. So there are so many ways in which money will leave our lives, even if we think, oh no, I save my money. I put it in the bank. It is sitting there. I have lots of money saved. Inflation is eating your money like termites. It's happening right now. It is happening to your money. You are losing money with it sitting there in the bank doing nothing to gain anything in terms of inflation. So many ways we can be losing money. Do we have our money mindsets sorted out? Yes or no? Do we have our savings sorted out? Yes or no? Are we tracking where our money is going with budgeting? Yes or no? Do we have our investments sorted out? Or, as we just mentioned, are we kind of sitting on our money in the bank, a bit scared to invest, but thinking, oh, it's okay, I got lots in the bank. It is depreciating. It is just going down in your bank account every single year by, it used to be average like 3 to 4% a year, but now apparently it's just gone crazy. I don't know what the current rates are, but you had $1, now you have $96. Next year, you're going to have even less. Do something with your money. At least hedge it. At least do something that is an investment that feels like it would be safe or viable for your risk profiling style. Now, we go into this in the Money Mind courses. So we have the investing pillar. We have all of these are pillars that are launching one at a time over the next 5 months. And we're going to talk about one pillar at a time because I want to discuss these really thoroughly in case anyone has any questions or anyone wants to say, I don't get it, I don't know, I think that's stupid, or I have a lot of interesting, useful opinions to share. Because if you can share your useful and interesting opinions in the comments, it helps other people. And really, this business was formed to promote financial literacy and support other people. That's why it's a social enterprise, which is like a charity, but for profit. So we will sell products and you will buy the products, and that money will go towards helping other people develop their financial literacy. And in future, it will go towards like schools and charities and things like that in terms of financial literacy in the world in general. So it's pretty much like just a mission-based business that is built for good for this particular cause of financial literacy and helping people feel more empowered to make their own choices about their money. So that is moneymind.global, and that is why we launched this business, why it exists at all, and what these courses are created to do. So even if you just do these courses for you, you're still supporting the cause of financial literacy for other people around the world too. So thank you for that in advance, anyone. And if you want to share it with anyone, please, we welcome everyone who wants to improve their financial literacy confidence in their own lives. Because if we are more confident in our own life, our families become more confident in their life too, because they will copy by example. And it is something that we can teach as much as we like, but the only way it will spread through communities is by copying of children of their parents and other people of their friends. And that is how financial literacy and just, being cool with our money spreads. And that is how we support each other. It's social learning, and it's a very strong psychological concept that is pretty much inescapable, So it's one of the reasons why we will be live broadcasting and we will be sharing all this information as widely as we can so that people will be able to join the community and be able to, as we grow it, talk with other people, read comments, learn from their mistakes, learn from their advantages, see what they have learned, see what advice they give. Obviously not like, oh, buy Dogecoin at like $2 and you'll be a billionaire. That's not good advice. Like, okay, it's just one of those things. It's like, we're going to get spam, but we're also going to get very useful, helpful comments. So we're going to focus on what will be useful in serving us and then just ignore the rest. That's a principle for the course, okay? That's a principle for everything that we're doing here, live broadcasts and everything. So money mindsets, do you have them in order? Yes or no? Savings, do you have them in order? Yes or no? Budgeting, do you have your money tracked or at least know where it's going and a plan for it? Yes or no? Investing, do you invest? Do you like how you're investing? Do you know your risk profiling questionnaire? You can go on to moneymind.global and do our free sampler just to get an insight into how you feel about this area, whether you're comfortable or not comfortable, whether it's an area that you are uncomfortable enough in to know that you'd benefit the most from it. Because the areas that we are the most uncomfortable are the areas we usually avoid. Obviously, they feel uncomfortable. We're not good at them. They're annoying. And we just feel like, well, I feel like really dumb when I do stuff in areas that I don't understand. I'm like, oh my God. So, okay, with maths, I was like, okay, fine. I have dyscalculia. Like, that makes sense. I figured out after decades. I was like, oh my God, okay, that totally makes sense. Why I can't count. And I can't read analog time properly. I mean, like, what's that? I've shown up like hours early to a meeting. I was like, oh crap, stupid analog watches. So it's just, I'm trying. I still try. Like, I have an analog watch just so I can try and tell the time. I try and practice, and I try and like work out roughly what the bill will be in restaurants just because I want to try and get better in this area. But I'm not going to be a mathematician. I'm never going to be good at this area. I'm never going to be like, yay, I'm so amazing. I can just do like multiplications like that. It's not my life. And I'm good at other areas. So I got to focus on those while not avoiding the area I'm bad at. So that's the key, right? Is also putting a little effort in the area that I'm bad at, but just a comfortable amount that will just push my comfort zone a little bit, but still benefit me. And the area that I'm good at, I really work at that area and I push forward in that area while accepting that there is all of me, the good stuff that I'm good at and the bad stuff that I'm bad at, and saying, I love all of this as it is as a whole. And we are going on this journey together. You don't get to leave your annoying little sibling at home because they're the most annoying one. You got to take them with you in the car. We're all going together and we're getting in this journey car and we are going forward on our money journey together with the annoying one. And we're going to help them become less annoying. And even if they stay annoying for their whole life, we're still going to include them and support them. We're not going to say, you don't get to go to school anymore, or you don't get to learn anything, or we're not going to pay you any attention. You just have to tolerate them and help them by being the best person you can be to that area of your life, to the area that you're most insecure or avoidant of. So if, for example, like a lot of people, you're avoidant of investing. Like I personally, as a spender type versus a saver type personality, which we talk about in the whole Money Mind course, and you can test out in your free samplers, and you can explore in the free samplers. If I'm more of a spender type, for me, I found that investing to me became more easily because I can take on a lot of risk. Because as we cover in the investing pillar, knowing your risk profile will show what your tolerance is for risk, what your risk appetite is for investments. So this is knowledge that's really important to know. You can get it done free at your bank. Just book in an appointment or do it online. And it's best to do it at the bank if you don't know what it is or haven't done it before, because then they'll walk you through what that means. But it essentially means like, I am not comfortable taking on a lot of risk and possibly losing all my money. Or I'm comfortable taking on a lot of risk and losing all my money. It doesn't mean that you want to lose all your money. It just means that if the return is higher, I'm willing to take on more volatility. But if the return is stable with less volatility, but it's not as high, I'm okay with that if I'm a bit risk adverse. So essentially, it's whether you're just more reserved about it or more aggressive about it. So I'm very aggressive about my investing. And I always have been, because I'm a spender type and I'm also very punchy on my risk. But a lot of people that I know who are very, very saver type, they're like, no, I am definitely not investing in anything I'm not sure about. And that's the thing with stock markets, that they are very up and down. NFTs, crypto, everything is very, very volatile. It's the stock market. It's only been around a few hundred years, and it's going to go up and down based on emotions, based on trades, based on what's going on in the world, based on geopolitical influences. It's not a stable boat, but it is going to keep sailing because people want to invest in businesses, people want to invest in companies, and the world's going to keep growing. So it goes up on an average of about 12% a year, but it can also tank totally some years and then go up higher other years. So roughly, based on what the interweb will tell us, a rough return of about 7% is pretty good if we're just investing roughly in stock market stuff. Now, if we are investing in stuff, this is definitely something that we need advice on, professional advice, any type of management advice that is not going to come from me, because this is a course and these live broadcasts are a talk on my opinions, my journey, and how we feel about stuff, not making financial decisions. Okay, so that's on you. You have entire responsibility for your financial decisions, your investments, your savings, everything. All I can do is talk about my journey, what I found along the way, and what I find helpful, and what you might find helpful too, just based on stuff I know or have experienced and found out from the interweb, other people, studying, learning, whatever it may be. Just sharing of information. So this is opinions only, not advice. So in investment, you need to figure out your style. You need to figure out your risk profiling questionnaire. But before you find your style, you'll probably find your risk profiling questionnaire is best to do. And roughly, we tend to know intuitively what we are if we were to think about it. So if you were to think about it right now, you'd be like, okay, do I like investing? You can look at your portfolio and see whether you like investing and see how much you like investing or how much risk you're comfortable with. Because if you have no investments in stocks or anything like that, if you have no investments at all, then you have a very low risk tolerance, most likely. Or you are waiting for more information until you make a move. If you're in that situation, that what you want to do is just start watching stuff and start researching. Maybe subscribe to like an online blog, maybe subscribe to the budget. I think it's called The Balance. Sorry. It's called thebalance.com. They have The Balance. They have The Balance SME for small, medium enterprises. They have a lot of different The Balance websites. You can also follow something called Get Rich Slowly. And that's a really fantastic blog about just money and investing, like the slow, easy way. You can also just read stuff or follow on Instagram a lot of different finance related accounts and see what feels comfortable with you. If you are going to be going into investing for the first time, you don't like diving into the pool at the deep end is a really terrible metaphor because you die and you need to be dragged out by a lifeguard. So if you keep diving in at the deep end, you're just going to keep needing to be saved. You don't learn how to swim, or at least you don't learn how to swim well. You learn how to like survive, which is how a lot of us go through our money life. But you don't learn how to really like be an Olympic swimmer. You don't even learn how to get to the other end of the pool without totally exhausting yourself. So what we need to do is not dive in at the deep end. What we need to do with our money, wherever we are, sorry, in any area, with our money, what we want to do with the investing pillar is, one, learn how to make our own decisions by educating ourselves. Start at the shallow end, okay? It's not like, oh, I need to know everything about crypto and meta and like everything that's going on right now, like, oh, because total FOMO, everyone's becoming a billionaire. They aren't. People aren't all becoming billionaires. It is a investing bias that we will buy when things are high and sell when they are low. It is a crazy psychological trait that is just neurologically wired somehow, and I don't know why exactly, and I need to do more research into this. But the fact is, it is a behavioral bias. I'm actually doing a behavioral finance course on Coursera right now, and we're covering some of this and like omission bias and stuff, but I will have to go over it a lot more times in order to be able to really get my head around the psychological biases that cause people to essentially be happy when other people are happy, and then freak out when other people are freaking out. And I just did a course from Cambridge University on social and emotional embodied cognition, which is essentially just how we exist as ourselves in a really fancy name. But one of the things that is wired into our brains is mirror neurons and mirror learning. So we will look at other people and our faces will mirror them. And interesting, we will feel roughly emotions that they feel. So like it's very hard, and I'm sure we will experience this in some way if we think about it. If someone is super mad at you and like, rah, it is very hard to be like, uh-huh, I see, and feel calm. You'll feel like you'll feel something, but you won't feel calm. You'll feel like blocked or dismissive or defensive or just fed up that they're mad about something stupid, right? But you'll feel something, and that is a response. So that is a deflection of the mirroring that you are experiencing based on their external behavior of anger. So we have a kind of mirroring version of this when it comes to investments. And it's really crazy, but we will tend to make pretty bad choices when it comes to investing if we are just trying to follow other people, which is why I come back to it needs to be our choice, our style. And we need to know ourselves in this area, because if we don't, we will find ourselves following other people. And that is the best way to lose all your money. You just follow everyone else and you just be like, la, 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 okay, yeah, I'm just going to buy this. You might make money, but there is a very, very, very high chance that you will lose a bunch of money. It's like going into anything unprepared or uneducated. It's just a very high risk strategy, even though we feel like it's safer because we're surrounded by other people. But it's actually the highest risk way that we could do something. If we want to do things properly, then we would say, okay, everyone else is swimming in the deep end. I don't know how to swim. It is self-awareness. And we will say, I don't know how to swim, so I'm going to get in the shallow end. I'm going to get some information from swimming teachers, start to learn how to swim, maybe start talking to those people and getting their input on things, and start learning how to get to the deep end. But that is a process, and that is for you to journey. No one can swim it for you. No one can learn it for you. You need to learn your own style of investing. You need to learn your own style of your money minds and what you want them to be. You need to learn your own style of what you want your saving style to be. You need to learn your own style of how you want to track your money with budgeting. Any type of budgeting style, even the no budget budget. You need to learn your own preferences and style in investing. And you need to know what you want to do with your wills and legacy. If you are over 18, you need to know if you do not have a will, your family will be stuck in a crazy ass process called probate, which is if you die intestate, it just means that you die and the government's like, prove it. Prove that you're their relative. You're like, well, I am their relative. It's like, yeah, but prove that they wanted you to manage their stuff. You might have been like hating each other. You might have been like not getting along. Like, we don't know who you are. And you're going to have to prove that this person wanted you to deal with your stuff. So essentially, if you don't have a will, your family not only having to deal with that, the tragic event, is going to have to then go to the government and say, hi, we're his family. Can we deal with his stuff? And they're like, no. Pay lawyers and pay other people to tell us and prove to us. Probate is from the Latin probare, which means proof or prove it, essentially. And they're going to say, you need to prove that you are the one that they wanted to deal with their stuff. A will says, this is the people that I want to deal with my stuff. So if you don't want your family to go through a very difficult process, get a will in place. Like, just get one somehow, print it out from the interweb, put it in a box that's a legacy file in your desk, tell your people who are in the will, this is where it is, and you're done. Your family doesn't have to deal with all this crap. It's like insane that people over 18 don't have a will. And that is my rant on wills. And I will always have that position, because I think if we love our family, how could we not prepare and be like, I love you. I don't want to have you go through any pain that's unnecessary. Therefore, if death happens, which, it does happen to all of us in our life at some point, if death were to happen before I'm like 110, my will says, this is for you. And that's just if you're over 18. It just says, this is who I want to close my social media accounts. This is who I want to deal with my bank account stuff. This is who's going to do stuff on my behalf. And it just makes that process so much easier, because you aren't there. Here is who I want to do it. They can do it. That's it. Super simple. If you don't have a will, it goes into this intestate process where it's, you aren't able to do it. They have to prove it. They have to go through legal fees. They have to pay lawyers. They have to deal with the government. They have to do all stuff. They have to try and fight to be able to get access to your accounts and things. They have to then pay even more legal fees to like close off all these proceedings. And then they get to finally do it, and they're exhausted. It's not fun and it's not good. And I have seen people go through this process and heard time and time and time again when I was doing my legal studies about how people, and I was in real estate, how people were having to be caught in these processes that were like years being caught in these things, and like properties not being able to be divested to the heirs because there wasn't a will. And so it was just complicated. I was just, oh my gosh, it's just complicated. Just honestly, in this area, trust me, just get a will, print it out, just get a lawyer, pay like $100, go to a lawyer and be like, sort it out. Put your name, put your executor, put your beneficiaries, done. Make sure your executor and beneficiaries are the right people. Go into the free sampler and have a look at this area, or buy the paid course when it's available. And we will talk through why this is important and just what to be careful of, just as a guideline. But getting back to the main point, these are the 5 areas that we need to have sorted out just to make sure that our money foundations are stable. So if you're feeling any insecurity about your money life at all right now, just check it. Is my money mind in order? Is it serving me best? Yes, no. Are my savings in place? Do I like how they are? Yes, no. Is my budgeting or money tracking in order? Do I know where my money's going? Yes, no. Is my investing good? Am I happy with it? Would I like to do something different? Do I know my risk profiling questionnaire? Yes, no. Do I have a will? Yes, no. Those are the 5 pillars of money mind financial stability, to just make sure we have this little tiny checklist to say, are these areas covered? Because if they are in the most basic way, money mindsets, savings, budgeting, investing, wills, and legacy, we will have the confidence to go from that shallow end to take the next steps forward. And that's why ticking off these areas will mean that once we are like, no, we get to at least kind of, or I'm making progress, kind of, and I'm making a progress, kind of, and I'm making progress. If we get to that in all of the pillars rather than no, that is what we're aiming for, because from there we can keep building. And hopefully you'll join us for more live broadcasts and other social media adventures. You can follow our Instagram, moneymind.global, and we're building out the rest of it. It's kind of a mess right now. Thank you for bearing with us. We'd love any of your comments, any of your input, good or bad, really. I used to Periscope a lot, like back in the medieval ages. Medieval times, or midi ages. Wait, why have I forgotten this? This is like my favorite part of history in school. Oh my God. Anyways, back in the olden days, I used to Periscope a lot before it went defunct. And so we'd have a lot of comments and trolls and input and all types of stuff. So it was a great big fun party. So please leave any comments or feedback, input that you might have. If you want to follow us, please follow us on Instagram or here on Haps or any of our social media platforms that you're watching this on. And my name is Raven. You can catch us over on the website moneymind.global to see any of our free samplers or buy our paid pillars, which are coming out sequentially over the next few months. And those pillars again, money mindsets, savings, budgeting, investing, wills and legacy. You got this. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I got dyscalculia. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining.